Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, a lot of you are going to like this video, so smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video as always, guys. I'm laughing. I've got a smile on my face because Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. What a man. The man, the myth, the legend. Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You know, Demetrius Andrade nowadays does a lot more talking than he does fighting, unfortunately. And Demetrius Andrade has come out and hit back at Canelo and basically said, he called me horrible, but he just got beat by a basic fighter. He, Alvarez, called me a horrible fighter, but he just got beat by a basic foundation fighter. Know what I mean? I throw uppercuts from miles away. You feel me? Nah, I wasn't surprised. So basically they asked him that, were you surprised he lost? Nah, I wasn't surprised. People were running around saying he went up to 175. But it was okay when he dodged me to go and fight Kovalev, who was washed up, damaged, and all the other bleep. Now, some of the bleep out there, come on, man, stop it. He got beat by a simple foundation fighter. Boom. Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Boo Boo Andrade goes hard in on Canelo Alvarez, saying, you got beat by a basic fighter. You call me horrible? You got beat by a basic fighter. That's what Demetrius Andrade said. Firstly, look, I get Andrade has obviously got his beef with Canelo Alvarez. But at the end of the day, Andrade's not really in a position to be criticizing Canelo. Canelo's a multi-millionaire, you know, made a lot of money. He's achieved a lot more than Andrade. Canelo's got a way better resume than Andrade. He's won more titles in more different weight classes. He's achieved far more, you know. And Andrade really shouldn't be criticizing Canelo losing to Bivol, because Bivol is about 50 times better than anyone that Andrade's ever stepped in the ring with. So, you know, you can't really criticize a man going in a ring with another great fighter. You know, and getting beat. Now, a lot of you said that Canelo Alvarez cherry-picked Bivol because he thought Benavidez and Charlo were tougher fights. Rubbish. Firstly, I said right at the start when I first watched Bivol, I wasn't that impressed. I said Canelo's going to knock him out, this, that, and the other. Then, you know, Ray, and there was a lot of guys that were telling me, nah, Imran, Bivol's going to beat him. If you watch my body language for about 3-4 weeks out of the fight, and a lot of you were accusing me of hating on Canelo at that point, I had watched a lot more footage of Bivol. I had watched some of his amateur career, and I went and watched more of his fights. And I realized that this is a much tougher fight for Canelo than I actually first anticipated. And if you look at my body language, it actually changed. And I actually started saying that I think Canelo's going to win the fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bivol beats him. And a lot of you said at the time, Imran, it looks like you're changing your opinion that Canelo might lose. And you started attacking me. And I said that I wouldn't be surprised if Bivol wins this fight. You know, but I was still picking Canelo. I was still picking Canelo to win. I just felt like that invincibility was there. And I just thought Canelo will win. But the point I'm trying to make is this. For people to say it's a cherry pick gone wrong is basically saying that Canelo underestimated Bivol, which I don't think he would do, because I think they've got a team around him and they would know that Bivol was a great fighter. Now, did they think he was as good as he probably turned out to be? Probably not. But at the end of the day, everybody knew before Canelo went in the ring with Bivol, including Canelo, that Bivol was a very difficult fight and Bivol was a great fighter. So let's drop the stuff that he thought Benavidez and Charlo were tougher fights, because they're not. You know, Bivol would destroy Benavidez and he would destroy Charlo. So let's not make out like, there was easy. And irrespective whether that was in his head, you can't say, because Canelo in the media said that Bivol is a tougher fight. That's why I went with him. Now, you can't tell me you know what's going through Canelo's head. Don't tell me you know what's going through Canelo's, because Charlo's not a tougher fight than Bivol. There's no way Canelo could have thought in his head that Charlo's a tougher fight. Get the hell out of here with that bull crap. Charlo, man, come on. Charlo's not, don't get me wrong. Charlo's a good fight, and I'm actually one that likes Charlo, but let's not make out that Charlo's some kind of killer. Charlo's like a good, decent fighter, nothing more than that. He's nothing more than that. This is a guy that had a tough fight with Montiel. This is a guy that probably got beat by Korobov and got a gift decision. So let's not make out Charlo something that he's not. And Canelo would avoid a fighter like that, because Bivol's a far better fighter than Charlo. So Canelo's not avoiding Jamal Charlo. If you think that, then you're off your mind. In terms of Andrade, Andrade has got a horrible style for Canelo. He has got a horrible style, but that horrible style lasts about 4 or 5 rounds. And then Andrade starts running out of gas, and he starts running out of, basically starts to fall away. Ray is somebody that I respect a lot in terms of, his boxing opinion. Don't get me wrong, me and Ray go back and forth. But me and Ray are unanimous on the fact that we think Canelo Alvarez would beat Andrade and probably beat him by stoppage. And I have to agree with him on that, because I actually think that Andrade is... I think Andrade, he'll outbox Canelo for a couple of rounds. But as soon as Canelo starts putting that pressure on and start hitting him hard, I don't know whether Andrade can last. I don't think Andrade's as tough as someone like Bivol, to be honest with you. And I think Andrade makes a lot more mistakes. Andrade isn't as consistent as Bivol, in my opinion. Bivol's very consistent. He's also taller. He's angly, and he's in my opinion, Andrade is also very emotional. And at times he fights emotionally as well. If you look at the way he fights, he's very jittery in his movements. I don't think he beats Canelo Alvarez. I've said it far long. I think people like Christian, who I respect massively, he's got his opinion, I've got mine, and he disagrees with me. I think he overrates Andrade, and I think Andrade's probably a little overrated in that sense that what's he really done in the game? He's been in that long, he's not beat anybody. And really, if you think about it, he's not really impressed me. I've not really looked at him and think, when I look at Jaron Ennis and I look at something special. I don't feel that about Andrade. I don't look at Andrade and think, oh, he's Jaron Ennis. And a lot of you say, well, Imran, stop. You love Ennis. Get out of here with that rubbish. I know when I see something good. Yeah, Ennis needs to step up. I get all of that. But I know when I see something special. Shakur Stevenson, I know when I see something special. I don't see that in Andrade. Do you see that? Do you see what you see in Ennis in Andrade? I don't. I've never seen it. I've never looked at him and think, wow, this guy's some kind of monster. No. When I look at Ennis, I'm in awe of the guy. I'm like, wow, this guy's unbelievable. Even though he's not fighting at the top tier yet, but he just looks so good. Like he can go southpaw, he can go orthodox southpaw. He punches hard from both sides. His left and right is powerful. The guy's got everything. It seems like he's got everything in his. But he can fight as a pressure fighter. Can box. He's athletic. He's nimble on his feet. He looks fundamentally sound. Everything just looks so perfect with Ennis. But even though Andrade has achieved, although his resume is poor, but he has achieved a lot in terms of he's a 2-weight world champion. He's undefeated. But I look at him and I'm not that impressed. To be brutally honest with you, I'm not that impressed. I don't think his performances have been anything stellar either. I look at his performances. Yeah, he knocked out Quigley, but these are very lower level guys. He knocked out Quigley. And no disrespect to Quigley, I just don't, but Liam Williams gave him a very tough fight. It was tough in the sense that, went 12 rounds. And performance against Cotton Dockwell, wasn't that impressed. Boring. Not just it's not the fact that he won the fights comfortably. It's just he didn't look good, to be brutally honest. But then having said that, Bivol didn't look good against Richards. But then he turned up and he dismantled Canelo, really. So sometimes you can't really judge on a performance. Sometimes a fighter's style is wrong for that particular style. And Christian believes that, Andrade's style is wrong for Canelo, which we'll have to wait and see. But I just think that there's too many mistakes in Andrade's game. I think his gas tank is questionable. I think his chin against someone like Canelo might be questionable. And also, most importantly, his inactivity, his injuries, his age. I don't think he can beat Canelo. That's just my being brutally honest. Like, I think Andrade's time has passed, and that's just my opinion. I think he's too old now. I think he's getting injured. He's inactive. I think his boat sailed by. I think he's missed the boat. He's missed the bus, so to speak. And I think it's only downhill here for Andrade. I think someone's gonna get him. Whether that's Benavidez, whether that's Canelo, whether that's Bivol, or whether that's whoever, Charlo. I think someone's gonna get him. I do, because I think Andrade's he's wasted too much time, inactive, injuries catching up with him. Age. You're 34, 35. That's too old. Even though he's a fresh 35 or 34, wherever he is, because he's not really fought anybody. He's not like he's been through wars. He's been in there he's won most of his fights pretty comfortably. But nonetheless, age is age. No one can fight age. I think him calling Canelo a basic, saying that Bivol a basic fighter, I think is harsh. Bivol is not a basic fighter. Bivol is a top fighter. He's got basic fundamentals, yeah, and to be honest, he didn't really do a lot, Bivol. He used the jab, used his height, used his reach, threw punches in bunches, had very good footwork, obviously had a very good chin, was also powerful as well. Canelo definitely felt those punches. When Bivol was putting those punches together, you could tell from Canelo's body language, he was feeling those punches. Canelo felt like, whoa, this guy, he can punch. But I think it's wrong for Andrade to troll Canelo, or to say that he got beat by a basic fighter. It's almost like he's saying he got beat by an average fighter, which is not the case. I know he's not meaning it that he beat an average fighter, but nonetheless, he's trying to, losing to Bivol, there's no shame in the end. Just because Canelo was a massive favorite, that doesn't mean that. Sometimes the bookies get things wrong, and Canelo should have never been a big favorite. I think the next time they fight, I think the bookies will get it right in terms of the odds will be a lot closer. And they may even make Canelo favorite again, but I think this time, I think we know that it's going to be a much tougher fight. And if I'm honest with you, I'll probably be picking Bivol in the rematch, just because I don't know. I don't see how Canelo's going to be able to overcome this man's style, which this is why. And look, maybe I'm making Bivol favorite, and I think Bivol will win. So if Canelo was to win, I'm going to heap a lot more praise onto him, rather than just saying I think Canelo's going to win. And then he ends up beating him, and it's kind of like, yeah, but we predicted him to win. No. Bivol is the favorite going into the rematch, and rightfully so. He dominated the first fight, and he should be favorite. When Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua, dominated, he went into the second fight as favorite. Bivol goes into the second fight as favorite. Canelo's never had to rematch anybody that he's lost to, because he never rematched Mayweather. So this is an opportunity for Canelo to show whether he can make those adjustments and come back and beat this guy, in May of 2023. I'm looking forward to it, man. I am looking forward to it. I am a massive Canelo fan. I like him. I actually like Andrade. I don't have a problem with Andrade, but the guy's not fought anybody, man. I'm just kind of over it now. Whether it's his fault or not his fault, the fact is he's not fought anybody, and that at the end of the day, Michael, my good friend Michael Parsons made a comment that none of these guys are fighting each other. I disagree with you there, Michael. I think Canelo's fighting Bivol. I think Canelo's fighting guys much better than what Andrade is fighting. Andrade is fighting guys that, I don't even want to watch. I'm not going to say if Canelo was to fight Bivol again, I'm going to watch that. Canelo will fought Bivol the first time, and let's be honest, we were all going to watch that because it's a great fighter, Bivol is. Golovkin's a great fighter. Yeah, he's old, but he's still a great fighter. He's still 20 times better than the guy that Andrade was going to come over and fight in England. and it was a much better. Golovkin's still a much better fighter than Selecki, who Charlo was gonna fight. You know, so I disagree. I think Canelo is still fighting way better opposition than what those guys are fighting. Because at the end of the day, if they want to upstage Canelo, then why don't they fight each other? Charlo could fight Andrade. Why didn't he fight? Well, Charlo ducked that fight. You know, he avoided Andrade. You know, but Benavidez would fight Andrade. You know, Janibek wants to fight Andrade. You know, and even Christian actually sent me a message saying that I think Andrade should take the Janibek fight. There isn't really anything out there for him. So I think he should take the Janibek fight. You know, fair play to him, because that's a dangerous fight. That's not an easy fight. Janibek's a really good fighter. So if Andrade was to win that fight, people would respect him for sure. You know, and I look, if Andrade was to fight Janibek and beat him, I'm gonna come out and give him a lot of praise. I wouldn't want any of you to turn against Andrade. And then say, oh well, Janibek was a guy with 13 fights. No, because remember what you guys are saying prior to him fighting Janibek. So if he does fight Janibek and beat him, I expect you guys to come out and give him credit for that. He's got to fight him though. Do you know what I mean? He's got to go in there and fight him. So let's see, man. Let's see. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Leave your thoughts. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Share the video as always, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.